So what I love a lot about doing fragrance reviews is every time I do a review and I prep to do a review, I get to learn something new all the time. In this case, today we have a review, a Saffron Bond review video for Eastwest Bottler's Moonshine Reserve, this one right here. I learned what linen and linseed smelled like, which is what they're using here in the notes for the fragrance. So today I'm reviewing Moonshine Reserve by Eastwest Bottlers, and you're going to have a chance at winning a full bottle of it as well if you are a subscriber of this channel from the USA. So if you want to find out about Moonshine Reserve, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time tuning into this channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, and of course participating in giveaways and still haven't subscribed, please click that subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So I wasn't too familiar with East-West Bottlers before, but this bottle was sent to me, Moonshine Reserve was sent to me via Saffron Bond. The opinions are all my own. I did a lot of research trying to figure out the notes and wearing the fragrance and having the experience of how this fragrance wears, and I discovered that linen was listed in the notes, and I was looking at linen and I'm going, what is linen? So did a little research, and it's basically flax flower. So flax seeds, you're familiar with those. It's good for your stomach and your digestive system, but here they're using Flax Flower in the notes. So this is a 2016 launch. 100 ml bottle is $148, and this is called Moonshine Reserve. And in the notes, what we have at the top are fresh cracked black pepper and linen, the flax flower as I was telling you about. In the heart, you've got vetiver, tobacco, and Appalachian gin, and in the base, it's aged leather and patchouli. And the fact that this has leather around the bottle, it's very, very appropriate to the fact that it does have aged leather in the notes, because the fragrance definitely dries down to a leather. So with Moonshine Reserve, the very first time I went to wear it, I realized that it doesn't have a spray. It's splash, so you do have to be careful when you're splashing it so that you cannot lose a lot of the juice in here. But when you first wear this fragrance, it's ultimate black pepper. It's like a big black pepper blast, and started reminding me of some fragrances like Le Labo's. They have a city exclusive black pepper fragrance, and it started reminding me of that. It was very, very peppery, which I like. I like the black pepper note, but I also liked it to be complementing other fragrances. Here also, there's a little bit of a nuttiness in the smell, and it's coming from that linen, the flax flower, but for me it's mostly about the black pepper note, the fresh cracked black pepper. So once you spray that, that's what you experience, but then it transitions into this beautiful earthy vetiver and tobacco, smoothed over with this beautiful gin note. It doesn't go boozy. Gin doesn't tend to go boozy. I think it just smooths things over and adds this kind of glossiness to it. It cleans it up for me, because I experience a very, very clean fragrance here. One thing I forgot to mention at the top, the black pepper also has hints of smoke. I got some smokiness like incense thrown in there. So there wasn't mention of smoke or incense listed, but I think the intensity of the black pepper kind of started reminding me of a little bit of frankincense or something smoky in the top notes. But when you're in the heart, as I said, it's very, very clean, earthy vetiver with tobacco, and I was kind of surprised that it would clean up those two notes, because I don't find vetiver and tobacco ultra clean, but that gin definitely cleans it up. And I love vetiver here as well, because vetiver tends to be very, very grassy and earthy, and tobacco of course is another great note, and it's perfect here with this fragrance because the style of fragrance it is, it's a masculine fragrance. As the fragrance is drying down, it does get a little animalic. It does go leathery, and the leatheriness, it just definitely stands out. You've got to like leather in fragrances. At least on me, it went slightly animalic. It's not ultra animalic, but the leather has this a little bit of funk to it, which definitely is coming from some animalic touches thrown in with the leather. And then of course there's that patchouli, and the patchouli and the animalic leather, again, the animalic leather I keep mentioning is not ultra animalic, so don't be scared, because this is a pretty safe fragrance, but I get it underlying some light animalic touches with this one, which makes it great. But overall, it's a great release. I love this one because it's very, very classy, and I find it to be not overly strong, but also not a wimp. It's one of those fragrances that if you can get away with wearing something stronger than normal in an office setting, I find it to be very classy and gentlemanly because of the notes, such as the black pepper and of course the vetiver, the tobacco, and the gin and the heart, and so it makes for that kind of a fragrance. It's very classy. I find it suited for like a business attire or anyone that wants to feel classy and gentlemanly wearing such a fragrance, because I find it to be a very masculine, classy fragrance. There are hints of it with other fragrances, as I was mentioning. There's the Le Labo I mentioned. There's also the Penhaligon. There's a Penhaligon's fragrance, Opus. I forgot the full name of the fragrance. It kind of hints at that a little bit too. I think the pepperiness in here hints at the pepperiness in there as well. They're not identical fragrances, but they kind of remind me of some other fragrances that I already like, so I like wearing it, if that makes sense. The only negative I would say with this one is I'm normally a sprayer, and splashing a fragrance on is a little complicated, not necessarily complicated, just not so easy, because I like to just spray and go, and then I have to be careful with splashing on and making sure I don't spill any of it. But then when I do that, it takes me back to the days when that kind of fragrances were popular, when I was very young and stealing sprays or bottles from my dad and my uncles, and not all of their fragrances were spray, some of them were splash, and it takes me back to those days when I was, you know, carefully splashing on the fragrances because I didn't want to spill as a kid. Anyway, this is Moonshine Reserve. I hope you guys get to try it. We do have a full bottle to give away over at Saffron. Click the link in the info box. Head over there and participate in the giveaway. Please follow their rules. And then come back here and let me know your thoughts on Eastwest Bottlers Moonshine Reserve. Have you had a chance to sample it? Do you know this brand? And what do you think about linen or flax flower in the notes? Have you ever experienced a fragrance that had that note? And then also let me know, do you like black pepper in fragrances, so that I can find out. Other than that, guys, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.